Today is Monday, November 29th, and it has been 10 days since I've made a video because I'm like in this limbo and it's been the holidays, so didn't want to just sit here and babble if I had nothing exciting, but I figured I needed to do an update, and I did have a little bit of exciting news. But right now we're sitting like just in a waiting period because my journalist that I finally did get somebody to listen, right? She sent her list of questions to the Sedona PD, and right now I'm waiting to hear back. So I'm waiting to hear from her, and I want to bother her. I know she'll reach out to me when she hears from Sedona PD. So that's where we are with her investigation. She sent her list of initial questions to Sedona PD, and then eventually I think she did want to get the sergeant and interview the sergeant like on camera, I believe, with more questions. But right now I'm waiting on that end, okay? Since I started really digging and I've been wanting to like talk to my sister because she had started working with the Sedona PD to talk to her dad about this. She reached out to me in July of 2020 and I didn't want to talk to her. Dustin talked to her about this, and since the beginning of July 2020 I have not heard from her, and I didn't think anything of it. It's actually been kind of nice. She's been bugging me, but then I realized that I haven't heard from my sister in 17 months, just as she was confronting the Sedona, or working with the Sedona PD to confront her dad. And even the Sedona PD says in the supplement report, the latest one I have, is that they can't get a hold of her now, after she agreed to do this. Now they couldn't get a hold of her to do this. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but now it's been 17 months later, and I'm digging into the case myself, and my sister's nowhere to be found. I reached out to my uncle. He didn't answer me. Maybe just because he doesn't want to answer me, fine. He told me I was something else the last time I talked to him. Yeah, well, we'll leave that alone. But I asked him where my sister was. He looked at the message on Facebook, didn't answer me. I tried looking for her ex-husband. His social media account on Facebook is gone. He no longer is on Facebook. Don't know. I stopped talking to, there's no reason to talk to him. They're divorced. Can't find him. Can't find her. My uncle doesn't seem to know anything, doesn't want to tell me. I don't know. I don't know who else to reach out to. The journalist happened to look up, my sister is not in jail, which is kind of where I'm hoping she was, but she's not. So now I've got a sister that's gone quiet, who is always calling. I've got her mail here for 17 months. Now, the longer I think about it, I've got her fucking mail. I got like I have a missing sister. So that's my biggest thing. So that's got me a little frazzled the more I look into this. So those are the two things that I've got going. Then on Wednesday, you know, the day before Thanksgiving, I go to bed and I wake up like midnight, or I don't know, sometime before Thanksgiving, and morning. And I look and I see that sometime Wednesday evening I got a message from Whitney, the reporter that I actually sent a message to a week and a half ago when all this started. And it was, you know, I sent a message to her because a friend sent me her link to her email, and I wrote email to her, and I wrote an email to Dr. Phil, and I made the video, and that's how I got a little bit of traction, was through that video. And that's how my ABC Ashley journalist found me and how she's investigating. Awesome. And Ashley even told me too about another, you know, family member of a victim who didn't let stuff go after, you know, decades, and like had to, you know, get a whole bunch of media people involved, and eventually the police had to look into it because of all the media attention. Well, Whitney reached out to me, and this is what she said on Wednesday evening. Hi Nicole, sorry that I'm just getting around to seeing this. I'm so sorry for what you and your family have gone through. That sounds so difficult, and I can't imagine the pain. Please send me the case file. I can't guarantee anything, and it may take a little while to go through, but that will help me a lot in terms of figuring out what we can or can't do. I'm definitely interested in it and possibly doing something. My email is, and I was like ecstatic. Like my heart started thumping. Like I think this happened like after midnight, like I saw this, and I was up for like an hour, and I constructed my own, you know, another email, because I originally had sent her an email, And it clearly left an imprint, and so she reached out to me. I am a good writer, and I tell people that, and that's how I'm gonna get. I'm like socially awkward, and I'm like so weird with people, but like when I put it on paper, that's the way I communicate. So at 2 in the morning, my heart's thumping, and I write her this, "Good morning and happy Thanksgiving, Briana." Briana, my name is Nikki, and I'm the eldest daughter of Stacy. In 1993, when I went to bed, I said goodnight. Oh, because she sent me more messages. She goes, "Thank you so much." And she was like, "Where are you located? Can you tell me more about yourself?" Like, she sent like a couple of messages that got me like all like, oh, she is interested. Great. Okay, so like this is what I started to like tell her a little more. Anyway, I never knew it would be the last time I saw her. 2.5 hours later, I woke up to a Sedona deputy escorting me from my home for the last time. In 28 years, nobody has ever been held accountable. It was only my mother, her 2 children, and her boyfriend in the house. Her death certificate is listed as a homicide, which I do have here. I've got visuals today, guys. This is my mom's death certificate. Right here on the bottom, right here, you'll see there's the little box. Is it gonna focus? I know, I've got like a shitty way to present. I'm on a phone. I mean, I'm not doing this like... Right there, you see homicide? They've got like, there's natural causes, accident, suicide, pending investigation, and undetermined. You see there are 6 boxes. 6 boxes. They could have hit undetermined, accident. They could have hit that. They had several different choices, but they hit homicide, okay? Homicide's on my mom's death certificate. Just want to point that out. Anyway, I have her listed as homicide. Her case report is 176 pages of victim blaming. I also have 3 pages so far of list of questions to the Sedona Police Department neglected to ask the suspect. The biggest inconsistency are the 2 911 calls placed 25 minutes apart. If you look at it, the incident report is placed at 1:40. So at 1:40, where is the time? Timestamp. When reported 1:40. Right there, 1:40. And the first officer's account didn't get his first call until 1:50, and then the first officer didn't arrive on scene until 1:55, when my mom is pronounced dead at 1:55, which is also on her death certificate at 1:55. So, not only is there 2 911 calls on the evidence. What times? I know one was placed clearly at 1:40. When was the other one placed? And not only that, from 1:40 to 1:55, that's 15 minutes it took the Sedona PD, the first responding officer, to get there. Okay, that's from his call. 15 minutes from when he called. What was he doing for 15 minutes after he called and the cop got there? For 15 minutes. Stop it. So it was a very small town. It should not have taken that long. Why did it take 10 minutes for the first officer to get the call through dispatch? Whatever. And then I'm going through this list of, like, you know, people that they interviewed and witnesses and stuff. And sure enough, right here, there is a Jeff Christensen, which I did not notice this until I started digging deeper. And more than likely, because I don't know this Jeff Christensen, doesn't seem to have anything to do with any of the Pietro's witnesses, because they have all the Pietros, the place that my dad and they work together. Russell and my mother, the place where they work together. Pietros. They're co-employees, co-workers, I should say. They're all grouped together, families grouped together, but at the very, very top, the very, very first person is this Jeff Christensen, Sedona, Arizona. And then it goes into Phyllis Peterson, Russell's mother, Ken Peterson, Russell's father, Susie Corbett, co-worker of theirs, Catherine Digler, co-worker, Kay Allen Grant, co-worker, then my mom's family, wow, the victim's family, the next witness, finally on the bottom down here. My mom's sister, her husband. My dad's not listed here, and Dad's the last person to talk to her on this witness report supplement statement here. But one reason why I point this out is because there is a Jeff Christensen, though. I don't know who this Jeff Christensen is, but more than likely, Jeff Christensen is the neighbor in Sedona that made that first 911 call. They heard the gunshot, somebody made a 911 call. And then the suspect made his 911 call at 1:40. When was the first 911 call placed? How much time in between that call and his call? I want to know. I want to know the exact amount, and what the fuck was he doing for all that time before the cops finally got there? At 1:55. 15 minutes it took them to get there. What the fuck was he doing? I know what he was doing. I don't have any proof, so I can't speculate, but when we get him in a little room, I'm gonna ask him, why did you do that? Why did you do this? Because I know you did this because I heard it from your wife, your next wife that you had. You got drunk and you started telling her what you did. Guess what? That wife told me years and years later, after you were divorced, you moved on to your next one with your whole nother kids. Oh yeah, you never knew that I talked to her. Oh yeah, she's real chatty. Yeah, you're the one after mom, the one you have another. Yeah, you have chiclets all over the place. Super chatty. Oh dude, you're so screwed. You are so screwed. Do you realize how screwed you are? Back to the statement from Briana, or to Briana. Basically, you guys already know this. I'm telling her about what I just told you, the inconsistencies in this time. What the hell was he doing? Why was he able to get away with it for 27 years when all it took was a daughter, a case file, and a couple of weeks to see this? So that's the main thing that I want to cover since I've emailed you last. I've been emailing my mother's story far and wide, and there's been some interest. Another reporter has stated, I told her, has started investigating, as she has an open investigation with the Yavapai District Attorney's Office. But I'm all about having more eyes on this. Nobody's paying attention to my mom in 20 years. So I want the whole world looking, whole wide world looking. Even more so, I just found this 25-minute gap. Not sure exactly when the first call was to 911 is placed. It's not in there. So that's why I don't know exactly how much time. I do know for a fact from his call to the cops arriving on scene is 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a long time. Long time to wash your hands, to do all sorts of things. I want to see the photos from the crime scene. You don't even have to show me my mom. I just want to see, I want to see the laundry room. I want to see the bathroom. I want to see the living room. I want to see where the phone was. There's all of these things. I want to see the sliding glass door. Because he put my... I don't want to give away too much. Because I know too much. And if he watches this shit, he'll know what I have on him. Oh, I want him just so scared because I do. I know so much. I don't want him to know what I know. Anyway. I let her know that there was another investigator. They did reach out to the Sedona PD with a list of questions. I believe as of right now, the Sedona PD has not responded. Now you want to know a little bit more about me. You can clearly tell that I'm a passionate and very loving daughter that'll never let her mother go. I'm 39 years old. This happened 3 weeks before my 11th birthday, and it shaped the rest of my life. Because of this, I was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, panic disorder, borderline personality disorder. And being so socially awkward early in life, I took to animals right away. That and my father lives in Cape Creek on a little ranch. In my 20s, I opened a 501c licensed nonprofit rescue. In my 30s, I opened my own pet sitting business. I love animals. It's how it got me through my childhood. I'm an avid reader. I knew there was a reason why my mom always had me stocked with the biggest selection of R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike, always encouraging me to read. I continued that hobby and that habit even after her passing, and there has to be a reason because once I picked up the investigation, I started writing my memoir, her story. Once I started announcing my investigation and that I was writing my memoir and I released a couple of chapters, I read aloud on YouTube. I had a lady that works with domestic violence victims and works for Foundation with writing memoirs. She reached out to me and wanted what I'd written, so I sent it to her, what I have in my manuscript. She's only read what I believe is the preface, but she already said that it's gripping. I might actually become a published author because I'm writing this in real time as my investigation takes shape. Plus I backflashed that night in '93, so it's quite exciting. Never thought I was going to be published ever my entire life, but I've already got 4 complete chapters already and sent to the editor and reviewed for publication, still waiting on an answer there. But as the story has no ending, I'm not sure yet. As you can see, my whole life is revolving around this. You asked me about myself, and I seem to bring it back to my mom's case every time. I need this for closure, and I can't move on with my life until this is finally over and there's some accountability, if not justice. That's all I want. Attached is the case file, my website for my business, the YouTube channel where I started documenting all this, not only for prosperity for my mother, but for the safety for my safety as well, because my sister is missing, and she was helping the Sedona PD on the confrontation call about the case file, about this case last summer, and nobody's heard from her since last year. That's a year and a half, 17 months, and I haven't heard from my younger sister that saw this happen as a child. So the Sedona PD reached out to her, then she's just gone. The plot thickens. This is a story. My name is Nikki and this is the story of my life. So, I sent that. It was Thanksgiving, and I haven't heard back yet from the second investigator, but that would be amazing if I can get 2 pair of investigating eyes on this and really, really turn up the heat. And like, I've got that list of hard questions. I've already sent, I don't know how much Ashley's squeezing Sedona PD, but I have a list of hard questions for Russell, like interrogation questions that he won't be able to answer, and it's basically, I don't understand why they need a confession, and I've got the questions that'll force that. Just give them a little room. You can't explain these things, especially like the gun and the shooting. Come on, dude. You get a good investigator in there and he'll start sweating bullets. So anyway, that's the biggest update. We might have a second investigator. Don't know for sure. The first investigator is working hard, diligently. She's waiting. I do like giving you guys visuals, so I did go through the memory box and I found a couple of them. Like, this is like, I found like old stuff, like before me, it's hard to think of my mom like having a life before me. Like, yes, my mother had like 20 something years before she had her first child. So that's the family. It's my mom, Aunt Kathy, Aunt Patty, Aunt Wendy, Uncle Michael, Uncle Lance. In front of the Christmas tree in the bay window in the house. And this is where I'll get misty. And this was that's my cousin Lance, baby Lance. So I grew up with him like a brother. So I was a year old, and we grew up a year apart. Isn't she pretty? I always say that, I tell this all the time, I'm like, my sister looks like my mom before she had babies, like when she was really young, and I totally look like mom, like, after she has started squeezing out her kids. There she is. All good old 80s Polaroids, right? I just wanted to show you a couple. This is 83. So literally, I am a year old and she's out. Google, she's young. She had me before she even had a chance to. Oh my god, I think this one, she looks just like me. Or I look like her, I guess. Look at that. Probably because we spent our youth in restaurants. I think we have to go. I'm just finishing up with a few pictures of her. Since I just found these, I was like, I haven't seen these in years. How long her hair was. I just recently cut mine too. Thanks, Brad Mondo. And it was so dead on the ends, but I'm like, damn it, why did I cut it? I was getting as long as hers. Just 70s, early 80s. This is before me. The other ones were like when I was baby, but that hair. I gotta do this because she's being forgotten. It's not fair. She's a beautiful person and she needs to be remembered, and not just by me. That's me. Boop. You just fell down and went boom. I think that's probably a good place to end it then. That's telling me, like, you're getting misty. You're getting emotional, you're looking at pictures and the video. So that's just the updates for today, Monday, in limbo, and waiting maybe on a second investigative journalist to take interest in this and set fire to the Sedona PD and get some accountability. Somebody needs to pay. She had a life. She had kids that loved her, and they needed her, and she has a grandchild out there that she never got to meet.
Not mine. It's not fair. And it's time. He's had his time. Now it's time to pay for what he did. Be a man. Pay for what you did.